Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2, where we discuss everything else regarding manifestation other than this piece. And today I'm having an extra inspired day. This is my second recording for this channel, but for whatever reason, I'm truly extra inspired. This is when I'm most creative. And so I'm riding the wave of this inspiration. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Anna, spelled A-N-N-A, in case you're wondering, and pronounced Anna. Okay. I've been a coach for the last 10 years. I started with coaching entertainment people because that was my circle. And it became a real true passion of mine to inspire people, to coach people. And around COVID time, I started my original Magic and Miracles channel, which again is dedicated to specific person, specific people problems, and also relationships, just in general. So go check that out if you're not familiar. The link is below. And if you are interested in coaching with me, the link to my website is also below. I also offer installments only within United States for now. And if you want to excel in my coaching, I recommend 2 to 3 months. So this is a more casual kind of channel. That was the inspiration behind the channel. And so I'm going to get right to it because I am so inspired, it's beyond. And I want to inspire tonight the people who are thinking about starting something new, like a business, new venture, new job, something they're really passionate about. And here's the reason why. And specifically this, in my own story, I saw how important it truly is for your own identity, period, but also in relationships of any kind, not just romantic, because it truly builds your confidence on another level. And so here's my story. And if you have been part of my original channel for quite some time, I've been there for like 2.5 years now, coaching people. But probably recording a little bit longer. I can't exactly pinpoint the time. I have to go back and look. About around 3 years, maybe you could say. So in 2011, I finally left my ultra dysfunctional relationship at that time. Finally had the guts to, and I wanted to talk about why I finally had the guts to walk out on my abusive ex who was into drugs. I found out towards the end of our 3-year relationship, if you can believe and imagine. Yes, that's how much of a ding-dong I was, that I didn't realize. I mean, I knew that he would occasionally smoke weed, and by occasionally, I mean every night. And it was kind of like part of his situation, but I didn't realize he was into things that were a lot more disturbing, let's just say. I can't really get into it, and a lot more, the drugs that were a lot heavier. And it was, it made sense to me afterwards why I ended up attracting him, because that was like the final situation for me to get a wake-up call, because the universe really tries to get your attention multiple times, and if it doesn't, it sends you like the most horrible shit on earth, and he was that. He was physically abusive, he was verbally abusive, he was degrading, humiliating. I mean, going in, I wasn't the most confident person, let's just say. I was pretending, I was modeling. At that point, when I met him, I've been modeling like for the last 10 years. I started when I was 15. I met him when I was 25. And I was like, at 25, you would think that I would know a lot more, but I didn't. I just fucking didn't. I came to New York when I was 17, and I kind of just like really struggled, worked hard. Ate shit so many times over. But it made me into who I am today. There's no question about it. But the point I'm trying to make is that I did not have anybody who took me by the hand which I wish so much that happened, which is why I'm so passionate about coaching people, because I'm kind of like giving that back kind of deal, something that I didn't receive, and told me, listen, darling, what the fuck are you doing wasting your time? Because my premise of my life back then was obsession about as peace. Exactly what I'm teaching not to do, because that's a recipe for disaster in your life. Not only from the standpoint of view of not respecting yourself enough, to obsess about anybody. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's the most gorgeous person on planet Earth. I don't care if it's the most, talented superstar on planet Earth. But nobody is worth obsessing over. But I was definitely putting that on a pedestal because my own mom didn't fulfill her role as a mother. And we can go into that fucking topic another time. I think that I will specifically make an audio or maybe video rather for my Magic&Miracles specific people channel at some point, because it's definitely worth exploring how a mother, irregardless of whether you're a woman or a man, can certainly affect the trajectory for the rest of your life if you don't work on it. Simply because your mother is the immediate parent, somebody who gives birth to you, and you have a special attachment to this person. There could be substitutes along the way in your life, but you never recover from that wound in the way that you would have liked to. Okay, you learn to create ways to get over it, but that, let me rephrase it. It's not that you never heal from the wound. It can never be replaced with anything else. Okay, so you can find substitutes. Like, for example, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was an extraordinary person, just absolute, saint in my eyes. I've never met a person who was more thrilling, kind, and everything. So I'm already talking about the importance of mother. But basically, my mother didn't fulfill for me this role. And so I sought it out in my grandmother, definitely found that in other people, etc. But most importantly, what happens in a case like my own, which is, a lot of my clients today, you end up obsessing about getting that validation from a romantic partner, because again, it's so very intimate and so up close, just like the intimacy and being close to your mother, meaning like this is the immediate kind of rapport with this person. I don't know how else to say it. I very much think that a father, as important as a father is, it's always secondary. I mean, for boys, of course, it's important, but it's always secondary because the primary caregiver is the mother, as we discussed. So, I wish somebody told me to stop wasting time on this, even though I was ever so addicted to trying to replace my motherly love, and focus on myself and give that love to me. This would have been a fantastic solution. And in 2011, due to just divine intervention, I have the story recorded on my other channel. I started creating fashion designs. Now I already knew how to sew. I learned how to sew when I was very little, but it never had occurred to me that I could do that for a living. I had set out an intention prior, a couple of months prior, to the universe to give me a hand, to help me to leave that relationship. And through serendipity and just absolute divine intervention, I got to create, for the first time in my life, what meant to be me, what it really was to be me. And again, I've made, fashion pieces before. I even made my own clothing, like when I was like 15, 16, 17. But it never went anywhere. And for the first time, I was proud of something that I was doing. I wasn't proud of modeling or anything like that. My then boyfriend, the one that was addicted to drugs, wanted to put me down, and he wanted very much for me to stay down, as in get a job. He didn't really want me to model, let's just say. He didn't really want me to act because he would criticize my acting. I mean, the horrible things that he would say about my acting and my accent, and I mean, just about everything about me and my hair and this, that, and the other. Like, everything was wrong with me. And that, again, just the parallel notice, if you're in this position or have been experiencing this quality of treatment, was very much like my mom. Everything was criticized. Nothing was right with me. But this time around was different because, and here's the deal. It's very much like manifestation, creating a dress or any kind of fashion design. You start with nothing. You start with a blank sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil, and literally there is no fabric in the room yet. There isn't even a pattern. There's just literally just your imagination, and somehow from your imagination, this item comes alive, and now somebody's wearing it, somebody's buying it. So when I downloaded the significance of that I can literally, why it became so addictive to me, this process, and why I started having confidence in myself, was because I clearly saw that I could create something out of nothing. And if I could create a dress in this way, then therefore this equals unlimited wealth, unlimited opportunities, me finally recognizing that I'm made of gold. And for the first time, he was able to sway me in 5 million different directions, control my mood, lash out, boop, 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 and talk shit about my acting and my accent and whatever else. Like, God forbid I gain like a couple of pounds and it was immediately noticed, that kind of situation, if you know what I mean. And this time around, though, when he tried to criticize my dresses, I was like, oh no, excuse me, oh no. People pay me money for it. The first dress that I made was, I still have the fucking dress. Right? It's a French lace, a beautiful white French lace dress, essentially. There wasn't a lot of it, so it's actually a really short dress. But I would never wear that today, let me just say it like that. But, I was like, 27 or something, and we ended up going, this is how I knew I was onto something. I wore the dress to a white party that we got invited to in the Shishi Club and all this bullshit that I, for one, never fucking enjoyed in the first place. But we were there and I went to the loo, to the toilet, and I was standing in line, and I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you, about 25 women came up to me whilst I was standing in queue and told me, where did you get this dress? And when I told them I made it, they gave me their business cards and numbers so that I can make them one. And so this is how I started selling dresses. I got 25 contacts that night, within an hour. I made I don't know how much money. The first month I decided to do this full time after I had left this motherfucker finally and never looked back, because not only was I making a lot of money, okay, and plus I had the contacts from my modeling and the acting and this, that, and the other, but people really liked my shit. And that meant I'm not that worthless after all. All that humiliation and all that bullshit, I started remembering who the fuck I was. And that was intoxicating enough for me to not want to go back to dysfunction. And the confidence boost that gave me. And again, not to mention the money I made, without a website, right? Without a fucking Facebook page or anything like Instagram. I don't think I had Instagram at that point. Within the first month, I didn't even have a website, like I said. People would just come to my apartment to buy shit, right? No Etsy, no nothing. We made like, well, this girl and I that ended up betraying me later, we partnered up and we made like 100 grand, right? So you tell me that you don't want that change in your life. Because what you're doing is you're offering yourself an opportunity to become who you actually are. Any dream you have in your heart right now, again, I mean, since that moment, since that time, I should say, I've explored many other talents like songwriting and this, that, and the other, where I wasn't no longer kind of like put in the box, because most of my boyfriends and both of my husbands, they really enjoyed the fact that, I look a certain way and this and that, but I had so much more to offer, and they would, proudly like, oh, she's a model, like, who gives a shit, kind of deal. I wasn't proud of that. I was not proud of it, but I certainly wasn't proud of it. This was something I was proud of, and I really wanted to explore other talents. And when I tell you, darling loves, that my confidence went through the motherfucking roof, and I no longer tolerated any kind of, even remotely, the suggestion of abuse, that I started demanding the very fucking motherfucking best out of people, because I felt it in my body, what it's like to feel to be like the golden Buddha. I felt that heavenly energy, this inspiration that started pouring through my veins and my mind and my heart. It's indescribable. I would literally stay up nights in the first year and a half. I literally didn't sleep. It was so I was so enthralled and just high on inspiration. I don't know how else to say it. It was absolutely mesmerizing. It revolutionized my life is an understatement of the century. And throughout the years, whenever I had a moment where I was facing a challenge, and God knows I had those, everybody does. It's not like life becomes perfect when you really master, manifestation and you really understand how it works. No, you still have challenges. It's just the difference is that you know how to deal with them without being affected by them long term. You just, you still get angry, you still get sad, you still but it just lasts such a minuscule amount of time compared to what you used to do in the past. And I have to say, I very much owe that ability today to my passions. It's my passions. They are like a life jacket to me. Whenever I touch a piece of fabric, I'm in ecstasy. Whenever I write a song, I'm on top of the world. I literally am. Whenever I, talk to my clients, I'm in another planet. I can't believe I get to do such, exciting work and work with such amazing people. Whenever I record for my channels, again, divinity comes over, and I'm just in such a magical place and world where I know I'm untouchable. These passions make me a person that I never thought I would be when I was 25. If you ask me at 25, what the fuck do I think I would end up as at 35, or whatever age I am today? I'm in my 40s now, relax. I honestly would have probably guessed that, I'm doing some kind of a job that would be really boring, because I knew there was an expiration date on the modeling gig. And I probably would have said something to the effect of, I'm married, and have a couple of children. That was my ceiling. Since then, things have changed dramatically. Because I allowed myself to break down that wall of, this is everything I'm worth. No, you're worth a lot more than you realize. And it's almost indescribable in words, the kinds of heights of inspiration and passion and just the most amazing experiences, because it just goes, the energy, it transfers throughout all of your departments of your life. It's not just your SP or your career or whatever. No, it's everything. You start looking younger. You have so much energy. You find inspiration in everything. You meet amazing people. You make way more money. I mean, how many times did I mention this in this audio? It's like you make money with ease and doing exactly what you love doing. To some people, sometimes that I coach, this is a very challenging proposition to kind of wrap their heads around because they've been doing something they don't really love for such a long time. For me, it's unimaginable today how, to live any other way other than do exactly what you please for very good money. To me, that's the only equation that makes sense. But I used to be this person who literally, settled for modeling. It's not as glamorous as, people think. I'm sure you know this by now. It's very hard work, actually, and physically demanding, and long hours and all that fucking crap. And, you get disrespected by certain photographers and casting agents and this and that. Everybody thinks that, models have a reputation, let's just face it, okay, of doing certain things. And I did not enjoy that part, that, models, that part of, assumption, let's just call it, around modeling, because I wasn't any of those things. I actually had a brain which surprised a lot of people when they would meet me. And so the reason I'm so passionate about this topic is because I see it within my clients. I see the hesitation, I see the uncomfortability, but realize what awaits you on the other side of this decision to do something that you really truly love, irregardless of the facts presented to you at the moment. Your reality will literally transform and shift into something unfucking recognizable when you trust your passions, when you really follow the bliss, follow your bliss. I think it's Joseph Campbell who said that, or James Allen. I think it's Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss. Like a dog sniffing their way home kind of deal. It's within you. You're built like that. If you're struggling in life in any department, it's because you're not doing what you love to do. I'm so fucking serious. Because the majority of your day is occupied with what it is you're doing for a living. Simple like that. If you don't enjoy that, you have to change it. That's the significance and the importance of this audio and of this idea that is, again, will completely transform your life top to bottom. You will not be the same person. You will look at yourself, let's just say a year from now, after you have, so to speak, take the leap of faith. It's not so much faith, it's just, it's just quantum physics. You go with bliss, you will achieve bliss in your life. It's a very simple equation. You will look at yourself, look at pictures of yourself, maybe a year from today, and it will literally be a different world. You will literally be a brand new person. And you will ask yourself the same fucking question that I asked myself when I looked back. And I said to myself, how the fuck did I do anything else before that? And you will honestly, at that moment, you will be just happy that you took that leap of faith and created this abundance and created this energy of confidence, of irresistible magnetism, and just, really celebrating the choice that you made, because, again, the gifts that this decision comes with, they're unlimited and they're for the rest of your life. So you're literally investing in gold. By investing in yourself in this way, in your passions, you're investing in gold that will last you the rest of your life and for generations to come. Thank you very much for listening. All the information for me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.